bitch, get naked.
Motherfuckers is recording. Boom. Run that. Episode 9 is here. It's lit. UFC 220 breakdown along with Bellator 192 breakdown. Now, how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to talk about UFC Bellator 192 first because UFC 220, I'm only going to be talking about the two main events, which is the World Heavyweight Championship and the Lightweight Heavyweight Championship, because metaphorically and physically, both those events carry a lot of weight. So I'm just going to save those for the end because they carry a lot of weight, being that it's the heavyweight champion and the light heavyweight championships of the world. Anyway, so yeah, let's just pop this shit off right away. I was watching like a breakdown real quick. I was watching a breakdown of fucking Brendan Schwab's breakdown of the fights, and he always starts off with some current events like, oh, let's get some Conor McGregor talking. Let's see what he's up to. Like, fuck that. We're going to talk about the real shit. We're going to talk about the fucking event happening this weekend. Bellator 192. Now, it's a stacked event. I'm assuming this is all going to be on Spike TV, free on Spike. So please tune in. Become an MMA fan. This is a huge organization. People even think, I hate when people say like, oh, do you watch, like they refer to the sport of MMA as UFC, like, because that's how big the UFC of organization is. But you guys got to realize there's many organizations going around, and Bellator is coming up. Bellator is awesome, and it's free on Spike. Popping off their undercard right away is it's my boy Mike Segura's fighting. I don't even know this. I feel like bad. I should have been blowing this shit up. I've met this cat. He did a little fundraiser out in Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm assuming it's the same fighter. I mean, I have a computer in front of me. I can just click on it and let's find out for sure. Oh, I better not start fucking playing ads and shit while I'm trying to record. I'm going to get upset. I'm going to click out of this. And assume that it's the same Mike Segura who I'm cool with that's fighting. We can't get a picture of the cat. Come on now. Psh, that's got to be Mike Segura. You know what? They're not telling me who it is, but I'm just going to go with that it's Mike Segura. Fuck it. So Mike Segura versus some cat named Arthur. Who cares what his last name is? Can't pronounce it. Mike Segura is going to kick his ass. Mike Segura trains in Orange County. I forgot the name of the gym. He trains with some killers out there. I've met them at Buffalo Wild Wings. They held a fundraising event for his last fight in Bellator, which was on Spike. And he was actually like, sometimes Bellator, see, this is why Bellator is dope. They throw fights out there. There's fucking goddamn 32 undercard fights on this event. And the main cards, there's 6 main card fights and 32 undercard fights. And then there might even be some fights like after the event ends, like untelevised. If you're there live, you'll be able to watch them. And then you can watch them later on YouTube in one night. Either way, these cats are fighting and they're getting paid after the bout ends, after the televised part ends. So my boy Mike Segura, who I met, he fought on the untelevised card of Bellator a couple months ago, and he fucking slept, dude. It was weird. He caught him with like an overhand right. Guy was coming in, he kind of just like dropped one on him. Dude started like going out into a seizure. It was trippy. Mike Segura is your guy. Bet on him. Or don't bet on him, but watch him and support him. He's the guy. Again, a lot of fights on this card. I don't really know these guys. I'm not that big of a Bellator fan yet. I'm going to tune in and watch these great bouts free on Spike. That's for sure. I know about this guy, Chad George. He's taking like a big layoff. He's about to come back in. That should be exciting, I guess. There's a member of the Gracie family fighting. So let's look for him to be exciting. Let's look for him to win. Let's go jump straight to the main card, though, because I don't want to talk about people I don't fucking know. But this I do know. Aaron Pico versus some guy named Shane Crutchton. Shane Crutchton's in trouble. Aaron Pico is a phenom. Everybody wants to see this cat be one of the greats. He grew up. So you got to realize the history of MMA. For a while, everybody's just training their separate martial arts and then bringing them together, kind of combining them all together, for MMA. Now kids are being trained in MMA. They're doing their wrestling on the weekends, jiu-jitsu on fucking Wednesdays, kickboxing on Thursdays, and then they have an MMA coach that's putting it all together from the time they're a little kid, from the time they start doing fucking T-ball. They're doing MMA nowadays. Aaron Pico is one of these cats. He's always been training MMA, but he's been specialized in wrestling and most recently boxing. He's a great wrestler. I don't want to like speak on his accomplishments officially, but I'm sure he's like an Olympic on the Olympic team at least on the Olympic junior team. He's a young cat and he trains at Wild Card Boxing with Freddie Roach. It's George St. Pierre's boxing coach, Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley's son. A lot of big name boxers go to that Wild Card gym. Aaron Pico is one of them. Let's look for Aaron Pico to stomp this fool. Just for the simple fact that they want him to be a star. I'm not sure that Bellator is running shady shit like that, running setups on fools like UFC is. Like, bet your ass if Aaron Pico was in the UFC, he'd be fighting a fucking old man for sure. He'd be fighting fucking Vitor Belfort's uncle just so he can get his name out there and kick someone's ass. I'm not sure Bellator is running it like that. Maybe this Shane Critchin's a badass. He is like 12-2. Aaron Pico's just 1-1. But the one loss we saw of him, he got caught on the way and he's trying to shoot for a takedown. He looked a little jittery. He looked stiff. The second time he fought with the win and knockout, he looked good. He was bouncing around like he's been in that Wild Card boxing gym. And he fucking slept dude with the left hook. So let's look for Aaron Pico. It's going to be an exciting fight. Look for him to look good. I bet you he wins too. I would bet some money on it if you had it. Next up, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler might be one of the best 155-pounders in the world. Guarantee you he can go in there. I mean, he's fought Eddie Alvarez. I'm not sure he beat it. Eddie Alvarez might have beat him. Maybe they had a trilogy. I don't fucking know. Michael Chandler's been around for a long time. If you don't know about him, it's because you don't watch Bellator and you only watch UFC. It's fine. He's badass. Look into him. He's been the 155-pound champ for a while till his last fight. This fool was backing up and he rolled his ankle and he fucking like broke his ankle middle of the fight. And then they go to the corners and he was gonna come out and fight. He was like, "Oh yep, I got a broken ankle, but I'm gonna go out there and fight." Ref comes over. He's like, "Oh, nah, kid, all bad. You can't fight." So they stopped the fight. That's how Michael Chandler lost his last bout. This is going to be his first bout since. It's against some cat named, let's try it here, Goti Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi is in for a beating because Michael Chandler is obviously trying to get back to his title reign, trying to get back on track after that bad random injury. Look for him to fuck him up. Guaranteed. Michael Chandler by TKO. Guarantee you. Second or third round. Maybe even first. Who knows? He's going to fuck him up. The next fight on this card, I do not know. Jesus, we got a name here, though. Georgie. I'm just going to try. Should I spell this for you? Karakhanyan. That's not bad. Kakaranian. Georgie Kakaranian. Georgie Kakaranian versus Henry Corrales. Should be a good fight. Couple cool names. Don't know anything about it. We won't break it down. Next. This is a bout. This might be bout of the weekend. This might be bout of the weekend on both cards. Douglas Lima versus Rory McDonald for the welterweight title of Bellator. Wow. Rory McDonald might be the best welterweight in the world right now. He might be the best at 170. Douglas Lima is the man with the belt. A lot of people have been sleeping on the Bellator fighters. When the UFC fighters have come over to fight the Bellator guys, a lot of people, including myself, just like automatically pick the UFC guy. Well, Douglas Lima met one of those. Douglas Lima fought Lorenz Larkin, who I thought Lorenz Larkin was a stud in the UFC, who was on his way to a UFC title, and he goes over to Bellator. Douglas Lima fucks him up pretty good too. A lot of people say Douglas Lima is one of the most underrated fighters, and that he's champ in Bellator for a good reason. That being said, Roy McDonald's also one of those kids who has been brought up in the game of MMA, training in has skills, all around skills. Isn't a specialist in anything. He's a great athlete, and he's also a damn dog. If you guys want to do yourselves a favor and watch Roy McDonald versus Robbie Lawler a couple years back, that's probably my favorite non-Diaz or non-huge crazy title fight. That's probably one of my favorite fights of UFC history. Roy McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. That shows you what kind of guy he is. He's a fucking dog. He's got heart. He's got stamina. He can do it all. He's got all-around skills. If I were to bet on this, I'd probably, if I was betting my dick on it, if I had gun to my head, gun to my dick, they're like, put someone on it, I'm going to say Roy McDonald's going to go get that dick for you. Roy McDonald, bet your life on it. If it was your life. But a money bet here, They got Douglas Lima as a little bit of an underdog. Douglas Lima is huge for 170, folks. That's been Roy McDonald's one of his strengths is that he's a big 170. Douglas Lima is a big 170, and during the face-offs yesterday, I kind of sized him up myself. Like I think it looks like Douglas Lima is a little bit bigger than Roy McDonald. He's definitely just as explosive as an athlete. People don't know about Douglas Lima, but I went back and watched tape on him. He's very similar to Roy McDonald as in the fact that he's got an overall game, and he's a good athlete. Roy McDonald once fought Nate Diaz. When Nate was a little bit younger and he was fighting up at 170, definitely not his weight class. Roy McDonald kind of had his way with him. Douglas Lima's done that to some fools too. Douglas Lima's very strong, very gifted, athletic 170, just as Roy McDonald is. I want to see the upset. I want to see it. I want to see Douglas Lima be for real. And Roy McDonald is like all boys with George St. Pierre, so fuck him. Roy McDonald's a little bit of a douchebag, and he beat up Nate Diaz. So, let's go Douglas Lima. Let's go Douglas Lima. Let's see the upset. Even though he's the champ, and show him what Bellator is all about, Douglas Lima. Let's do it. I like that last name, Lima, too. Better than McDonald. Cheap-ass McDonald. And it's fucked up, because that fight right there, we should be talking about that fight right now, because that should have been the main fight. This is a little bit of bullshit. Of course, the main fight of the night for Bellator is Rampage Jackson versus Chael Sonnen. And I guess it has to be. Because what they're doing, this is the first leg of the heavyweight Grand Prix tournament to decide who's the heavyweight champion of Bellator. Bellator doesn't have a heavyweight right now. So they're doing a tournament. Couple old cats running a little tournament together. And to find out who's the heavyweight champion. First up is two people who have never fought in the heavyweight division. Old Man Rampage versus Old Man Chael Sonnen. Honestly, that fight skill-wise could be probably maybe after the Aaron Pico fight, we could watch that fight, like skill-wise. But because it's the names, because it's the tournament, because this is fucking the fight game, we're going to make them our main card. I'm on board with it. Fuck it. I love these guys. Rampage versus Sonnen. Two masters of the game in the octagon and outside. And by that I mean they can sell a fight. Chael Sonnen, I'm convinced, is not that good at MMA. I'm convinced that he's not, folks. He's obviously was a great accomplished wrestler. When he came into the MMA, he was juiced up. And he went on a little hot streak, and I think he got to those bouts with Anderson, and he got these fights because he talked a lot of shit, and I think everyone keeps giving him fights, and he keeps talking his way into fights, and even I bet on him against Tito Ortiz, who's 155 years old. I said Tito would win. I said Chael would win, and fucking he went out there and Tito ran right over Chael. I think Chael has always been not that good. I think Chael has always been just good enough. But his mouthpiece and his business skills and how savvy he is has made him, he's one of the greats because of it. People don't ever say that he's one of the greats, like he can kick anyone's ass, but like people know about Chael Sonnen. He's headlining this card and he is in this tournament. I don't think he's in it to win it. I think he's in it because he has to be, because he's Chael Sonnen and I'm looking at his poster right now and I'm just looking at him like this cheap ass. He's the guy. He's the biggest one of the best shit talkers of all time. But ultimately, I think Quentin Rampage Jackson has this. He's definitely, over the course of his career, he's been the better. We're definitely not talking about these two in their prime. These two in their prime, Rampage kicks his head in the third row. We're not talking about that. We're talking about them now. But over the course of the career, Rampage has definitely had the better career. He was always the better athlete. Definitely a better boxer, better hands, better kicks, better movement. Definitely not a wrestler like Chael or submission artist or anything like that, but Rampage does have one of the best takedown defenses of all time, because forever, he's been defending takedowns and punishing people standing on the feet. That's his game. Now fighting at heavyweight, this is a heavyweight tournament. Look for Chael to just be in damn good shape, and look for Rampage to be huge. I could see it. He was wearing like a hooded sweatshirt the other day, and I hope to fuck that was like he was wearing 3 of them because it was cold out or something, because he looks like he's got himself a little pop of gut going on. Not worried about it though, because what Chael Sonnen's going to do is he's going to try and shoot for this takedown, and he's just gonna lay that pop of gut on him. He's gonna just lay the pop of gut on him, and he's gonna stand him back up, and Jackson's gonna piece him up. Probably second or third round knockout. There's no fucking chance this goes 5 rounds. I'm not even sure it's scheduled 5 rounds. That wouldn't be fun. If it's scheduled 5 rounds and it goes all 5 rounds, it might be one of the most sloppiest 5 rounds ever. I'm not sure these two guys can make it that far. And as far as this whole heavyweight tournament, fucking to save it, Ryan Bader is going to win it all. You got Fedor versus Matt Mitrione. I would like to see... I mean... Wait, are they fighting? I'm not going to break down the whole tournament right now. I forgot the fucking who's fighting who in the tournament, but we got Fedor in there, got Frank Mir. Frank Mir has actually gone crazy because he's actually been punched in the head way too many damn times, so he shouldn't even be in the tournament. So Frank Mir, whoever he's fighting, is going to win. Oh, I think it's Fedor. Fuck it, Fedor's going to kick his ass. You got Matt Mitrione fighting somebody. I like Matt Mitrione because he's young and he's a true heavyweight. But ultimately, I think Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader's the light heavyweight champion of Bellator. Definitely one of the top 5 welterweights of all, in the world right now, including the UFC. My cousin, my sweet cousin said no F word. Fuck that. fuck. Sorry. I'm supposed to save all comments of Facebook Live till the end. I will save the comments to the fucking end. I'm sorry. Back to the breakdown. Back to the fucking breakdown. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Rampage. Chael. Ryan Bader's going to win that heavyweight tournament because he is one of the best welterweights in the world. I'm glad he came to Bellator because if he was in the UFC right now, he'd be running in. He's going to have to, he can't get over that. He's one of those guys that couldn't get over the heat. He's not going to beat DC. He's not going to beat John Jones. He's right up there with Gustafsson, right up there with Rumble, but you don't want to see him have to face these new guys coming up. I mean, fuck that. Go be the champ at Bellator. Make your money off your sponsorship dollars. Have a good old time. It'd be lit to see him win this heavyweight championship as well. So at the end of the day, that's going to be a great time. That heavyweight tournament, I can't believe they're doing it. That's awesome for them. It'd be cool if the UFC did a heavyweight tournament, but I don't think it'd mean much because this Francis Ngannou might just eat everybody's head off. So yeah, that's it for the Bellator 192 breakdown. Ultimately, I got Quentin Rampage Jackson beating Chael Sonnen in the first round of the tournament. Look for Douglas Lima to pull the upset and retain his championship against Rory McDonald. Giorgio Cockerhan and Henry Corrales, a couple of good names. Look for a good bout. Michael Chandler to get back on track, and Aaron Pico to have a good showing. That should be a good card. If you're a betting man, go ahead and take Pico, Chandler, and Jackson. Just do it. Because fucking last week I was 6 for 6 on picks, 4 for 4 on picks, and my boys won money. I also won money. So if you like money, listen to the podcast, listen to my picks. You can pay me later. We can figure it out. Sponsorship dollars, something. Cool pictures you can send me. I don't know if I can buy me a CD and an ice cream with that money that you win off my picks. I don't care. Speaking of money, speaking of picks, UFC 220. Switching over now. Boom. What is this? I'm pulling up some rankings. I want to listen to some rankings. Oh, that's right. We don't need to break any. I don't need no research on this. Okay. Terry, I like your questions. Keep them coming. You're asking me about football. We're going to get to that after my breakdown. I got to keep getting distracted over there. This is awesome. Keep the comments coming in, people. If you're watching, talk some shit. Post some comments. What do you want to talk about? I'm going to get to it at the end. I got 2 more fights to break down here, and then we're going to get to those comments. UFC 220. The first bout. Daniel Cormier, the champ, versus Volkan Ozdemir. Volkan Ozdemir from Sweden. He's been on knockout rail. His whole story has just been about knockouts. This is what he does. He has lightning concrete in his hands. And he grew up a kickboxer and just a striker in Taekwondo. Started developing the overall game around they said 8 to 10 years ago. So he's in here. He's no joke. He came into the UFC on short notice And I forgot who the dude was, but he beat his ass. And then he's gone on a 3-fight winning streak, all by knockouts, like in under a minute. One of whom, though, could have been BS. Misha Kakurov has a complete weak chin. And like he just got caught on the top of the head with an elbow, and it's weird. He went down. He kind of got knocked out by the fence. I'm not sure one of those is a legit knockout. But at the end of the day, Volkan Ozdemir has always been known for his athleticism, his technical striking, and he has like cement lightning rod hands. That being said, he's fighting Daniel Cormier. Coming off a bad loss to John Jones. He's pissed off. He said it himself that he has a bad taste in his mouth and that he needs to get a win for himself to feel like a champ again. Psh, sounds good. Let's see it, DC. If I was betting on this, I'd take DC. I think DC's going to take him out and smash him. It's interesting. I would love to see Volkan win. Volkan's a cool character. I'm all about my characters. People are a little bit... I wish the UFC can find a good happy medium between the sport, an amazing sport that it is, a professionalized sport that this is, MMA is, and the like Showtime dramatized WWE shit that they kind of got going on. Because I kind of like both. Obviously, I love the sport and like the purity of the sport way more. But as far as like the drama, big drama show version, part of watching MMA is the drama you can see. These motherfuckers are fighters. They're fighting. I like the characters. And Volkan Ozdemir, he looks like a character. He's bald head. I wish he was from nowhere, though. He's from Sweden, which obviously you're like, so he's from Sweden. He's super nice. And like everyone he knows is super nice. Which sucks, because I wish he was from nowhere. I wish he was from like a back alley. I wish he was like Khabib's roommate in Dagestan, like boys' college. Like, I wish he was from nowhere. But he's from Sweden. So he's from a nice place, but he looks like he's from a bad place. He's got the bald head. He looks like this, and he's just jacked. And he's got cement lightning rod hands. And his name is Volkan Ozdemir. And he like wears like black turtlenecks and black button-ups and just looks like some Russian mob dude who knocks people out. That's what he looks like. And it's so funny. Everybody's like, oh, Ozdemir. I don't know why I don't know where I heard it, but Ozdemir's a nice guy. Dude is literally on trial for like two. Okay, I'm looking at this. What is going on? I'm not gonna answer the questions. He's on. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, this crazy bastard Volkan. He looks like a bad guy. He's on trial for 2 misdemeanors for beating some dudes up at a bar. And not just beating dudes up at a bar. That's like he's literally on trial, like facing like a felony and like 2 misdemeanors for assault and battery on like 3 different guys. And he fucked them up pretty good at a bar. So it'd be tight to see him win. It'd be cool to have this guy who looks like a bad guy and he like beats people up at bars and just wears the button-up shirts and just looks like this. That would be awesome. But it's not gonna happen. Daniel Cormier's gonna pick him up. He's gonna drop him. He's gonna smash him. Daniel Cormier recently got changed over to voted by his peers the captain of AKA, the captain of American Kickbox Academy, which is a huge deal for him, and it's a huge deal in general. He's not gonna lose this fight. I really don't see any. I don't see any way he does. I was thinking about it. I'm not gonna put my money on these statements I'm about to say at all. But just for the sake of it, we can fuck around and we can say how he would lose. I was like, well, you know what? Volkan's got the crazy power, but DC, he's taken the best shots from Rumble. If you can take the best shots from Rumble, you can take the best shots from anybody. But Rumble Johnson recently retired, and he said he didn't like the training anymore, and it was too hard on him, and he didn't really like it. You know who Rumble Johnson's training partner was? It was Volkan Ozdemir. So maybe Anthony Rumble Johnson fucking wasn't having a fun time training because this boy Volkan Ozdemir was kicking his ass. Volkan Ozdemir, so he's training with Henry Hoof, who's one of the best kickboxing and best MMA striking coaches of all time. Very underrated. Who trained Anthony Rumble Johnson for 2 fights against Daniel Cormier. And 2 times they came up short, and 2 times that coach was frustrated and thought, damn, my fighter had the physical talents to beat him, but he didn't have the mental capacity to do it. Now, what if that same coach has this new fighter named Volkan Ozdemir, who has the physical capabilities just like Rumble Johnson does, because maybe he doesn't have as fast and doesn't look as intimidating as Rumble Johnson. But goddamn, watch Volkan Ozdemir, man. He is big and he is fast, and those hands are full of cement lightning rods. What if he has the fighter now that with the physical capabilities just like before, but this fighter has the heart and he has the brains to keep the game plan? Because if you remember in that second Rumble fight, Rumble was moving around a lot and he was catching him with hard shots. He was, and then eventually they would clinch up, and Rumble would block a takedown, and then like there would be a split opportunity for Rumble to back off him and push him off and keep him away, but he just would sink into it and said kind of like, fuck it, let's grapple. And when you say fuck it, let's grapple with DC, you've basically said fuck it, I lost the fight. So maybe Ozdemir has enough whereabouts and enough heart inside of him, enough brains inside of him. I think it's a brain and heart thing to be like, no, I'm not done. I'm not out of this fight. Like, get up off the fence, stand up when you get taken down. Don't just pull guard and just sit there and get smashed on and roll over and have your neck get taken. Like, stand up, try as hard as you can, because maybe he can make the fight go more than a couple rounds. And this is what I always say, actually, and this is actually false. I was about to say maybe it goes a couple rounds, and then DC, he's a little tired, and then Ozdemir hits him with those lightning rod hands, and that chin is a little tired, and then he gets knocked out. Because you could say like, oh yeah, DC's never been, he's taking the best shots from Rumble. How could Volkan knock him out? Well, John Jones knocked him out, and he was beating John Jones up. He was kind of getting after John Jones for 2.5 rounds, and then in that third round, John Jones head kicked him and finished him and knocked him to sleep. What if Volkan can do something similar? I'm not saying that he has the skill of John Jones, but maybe he can last. Maybe those hands really are filled with lightning rod cement bricks. Maybe they are. But I really don't see that. I really see Daniel Cormier being able to box, keep head movement, and then like first round he probably wins the strikes. Daniel Cormier probably wins the striking battle in the first round. Probably clinched up a lot against the cage. Maybe there's a takedown at the end, and then the last 2 minutes of the fight, DC's on top of him. Second round, probably something very similar. Third round, boom, immediate shoot, immediate drop on his ass, immediate beatdown. Maybe Volkan's like really squirmy and doesn't get choked out. I don't see him really. Volkan doesn't seem like the type to quit like Anthony Rumble Johnson, but he doesn't seem like the type that can defend Daniel Cormier's ground game. And again, we're starting to see some real high-level mixed martial arts going on. Now it's 2018. This sport's been around for almost 20 years now. I'm starting to see when the high at the wrestling, the individual skill of wrestling at its highest level, when used as offensive, like Khabib Nurmagomedov, Daniel Cormier, it's kind of unstoppable. And I'm not trying to talk like I know hella shit, but I was watching this fool Volkan's training tape and like his ground. Like, we've been working ground the game. This fool fucking did not look like he was working some type of high level ground game. It was looking a little weak. He wasn't. Let's just say he's not out there I don't know. He's not out there. His training partner isn't Khabib Nurmagomedov. But this is another reason why this fool Volkan's a little weird. Maybe he is some type of secret assassin, though, right? Like, everybody thinks he's a nice guy from Sweden, but he's dresses like a bad guy. He fucking looks like a bad guy. He knocks people out at bars. And he trains with Anthony Rumble Johnson and Henry Hoover, who once tried to beat Daniel Cormier. He also trains at this other little fucking fitness gym out in Florida with Luke Rockhold, Daniel Cormier's longtime training partner. Now, Daniel Cormier and Luke Rockhold are probably... Daniel Cormier is probably such a badass that he probably like called Luke. He's like, "What's up, Luke? You training with that fool?" And Luke's like, "Yeah, man, whatever. He's definitely not gonna beat you, man. Like, you're definitely gonna lay on top of this fool and kick his ass. He definitely can't fuck with you." And then so Daniel Cormier was like, "Oh, fuck it, train with him. Do whatever you want." That's probably what's going on. Or they're just so professional that like they don't even talk about the training. And Luke Rockhold's a little bit of a rat. Like, I don't understand how like you're like team AKA, but you train with this dude who's about to fight the champion and about to fight your captain. That fool Luke Rockhold's a douchebag and weird, but at the end of the day, fuck it. At the end of the day, that would be funny if Volkan wins, because Volkan, everybody would be like, "Whoa, what is this dude? Like, is he this weird bad guy? He went and hired the coach has the game plan for Daniel Cormier. He went and worked out with Daniel Cormier's training partner. Whoa, that would be tight. That would be a cool storyline. That's some shady backdoor WWE stuff. some fucking NWO, WCW bullshit right there. I like it. But at the end of the day, like Daniel Cormier said himself, it's different when that cage closes. When that cage closes, no one can come and help you. And the lights are on, and I would imagine when a cage closes, we're not fighting in a ring here, and you got fucking paparazzi cameras right there, and you can see him and shit like a boxing match. It's a cage, and the man in front of you is a gold medalist Olympian in wrestling, and he's a goddamn captain of the American Kickboxing Academy, and he's been a champ forever, and you know what he's gonna do. You know he's gonna box with you and try and take you down. That's probably a lot different than training in the gym, like coming up with all these sweet ass training strategies for him. Probably a lot different. So if I was a betting man this weekend, I would put my money on DC. I don't think I'm going to because I think he's a big favorite, and I don't want to fucking risk that much money because, again, it is a professional fight. They're both professionals. Volkan can shock the world with those lightning hands and knock him out. So I'm not going to bet on it. But if you wanted to, go ahead and pick DC. Because everything I just said, like that'd be cool if that happened. Like because of the training camps that Volkan has put himself into, because of his fucking I'm a killer fucking attitude / beat people up at a bar attitude, he knocks him out. That would be cool. Do I think that's going to happen? No. Not even fucking close. I think DC is going to kick his ass. Now, finally, drum roll please. Main event of the evening. Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou. Ngannou is his name. You know it's bullshit. I said on a podcast once, I think I said this. I know his name is Francis Ngannou. I know that. But like a couple of fights ago, the fucking UFC people didn't know that. Joe Rogan didn't know that. Brandon Schwab didn't know that. They were calling him Gano. Francis Gano. So I started calling him Francis Gano because just like, oh fuck, maybe his name's not Ngannou. Now everybody knows who he knocks Alistair Overeem's head into the third row. Now everybody knows his name's Ngannou. Bitches, man. I fucking knew his name was Ngannou. Anyway, Francis Ngannou might be the most talented athlete that's ever stepped foot into the octagon. That's pure size, strength, capability. 4 years ago, this man was homeless and didn't really know what MMA was. He was like starting to train boxing. His boxing coach was like, dude, you are way too good of an athlete to just be a boxer. Like, you need to be an MMA. You need to be an MMA. So he trains for 3 years, comes to the UFC, starts making his way. All of a sudden, he starts knocking fools out pretty bad. One dude tries to take him down. He fucking almost breaks his arm in a Kimura. He's the real deal. Then he moves. Then, I think last year, he moves to the UFC training facility. They got this guy in there like fucking Bane. He is Bane. He's the new Bane. He is the UFC's Bane. The UFC training facility is like the most top-notch training facility one can ever dream up. And he fucking lives there. And people say, it's so funny, like, no, anybody can train there. It's like, oh, yeah, anybody can train there? Well, how come the damn monster's in there right now? We can't go train in there. We can't go get mat time. That fool takes up 4/4 of the mat. And what you want me to do, man? You want me to fucking mean mug this dude? What if he doesn't like me? Like, he's going to, like, what if a welterweight goes in there and Gano's having a little bit of a rough day? He's pissed off and you're using his weights. You can get a little locker room bout with that dude? Get the fuck out of here. What if you're a big guy? What if you're like a 205er and he wants to spar? Get the fuck out of here. Like, everyone can use the UFC gym, my ass. That UFC gym is for Francis Ngannou to get big and get dope at MMA so he can become the greatest of all time. Now, can he do that? I think he can. From seeing what I see, not just the hype, not the stats and everything, who he's being, the time he's done, and like watching him, the way he moves, and watching, like, if you go and watch like Anthony Joshua box, and then watch Francis Ngannou hit the mitts. Obviously, Joshua's more fluent; he's a boxer, but it's not bad. Then you watch like just that. He hasn't had a lot of experience in MMA, especially grappling or anything. But you watch him against Alistair Overeem for that like 2 minutes when they're up against the cage in the clinch. He fucking handled him. There's been like one other fight too where he like had to clinch up with somebody and he handled him real good. You just look at the size of him and you'll be like, oh, I've never seen anything like that in my life besides on Shaq. And then you watch his speed and his mitt work and like the way he throws his kicks, they're so athletic, it's so sharp. And then you throw in the fact that he's only like 25 years old and he's only been doing this for 4 years and he's got the UFC training facility and the UFC marketing machine behind him. he really could be the greatest of all time. They could be forming the GOAT right now. They could be growing a GOAT. That's what Dana White's doing. But he's fighting that motherfucker Stipe. He's fighting that cocksucker Stipe Miocic, who's got immigrant blood in him. And Stipe Miocic is the definition of an American man. He's the best American we got. Some say it's Brad Pitt. I say it's Stipe Miocic. Stipe. Fucking his name's Stipe. Sounds like he's not from here. No. It's like first generation immigrant. I think his parents or his grandparents are from Croatia. So that's as American as it gets. He's a firstborn, first generation American with the immigrant name. Heavyweight champion of the world in mixed martial arts, and specifically in the UFC, basically means that no one in the world can kick your ass in a fight. Like, you're going to Anthony Joshua versus Stipe Miocic in a bar. Stipe. Deontay Wilder versus Stipe. Stipe. Daniel Cormier versus Stipe. Stipe. John Jones on steroids versus Stipe. We might have a bout, but I'm going Stipe. Brock Lesnar or Stipe. Gabby Garcia versus Stipe. Cyborg Stipe. Like, Stipe is the best. He's the heavyweight champion. He's the best. He's also, like I said, the first generation immigrant. He's also from just small town Ohio. He's just a small town boy. He's also a fucking full-time fireman. Does no one know this? That our heavyweight champion, possibly the baddest man on the planet, is also a full-time fireman? So you got Francis goddamn Gano in there becoming Bane, and like all day long, the UFC is just giving him nonstop best training, best medicine, best everything they can give him. Meanwhile, this motherfucker Stipe is on Wednesdays he can't train because he's got to put out fires. What? Where's the UFC marketing team on that? That pisses me off. Nothing against Francis Gano. I want to see him be the best of all time. But it's bullshit because I want to see Stipe win this one because I think he deserves his shine. I mean, he's the champ and he is great and like the fucking skills speak for themselves. I'm sure no one can kick his ass, but he deserves to be put on that pedestal because he's a fucking firefighter. There's some people in the UFC that have other jobs and do other hustles. Some of them have podcasts. A lot of them have like sponsors, like sports drink sponsors. Some of the smaller time fighters like sell real estate, have their own shit going on because UFC pays dirt and fighting is just not that popular in America right now. Or anywhere. It's just not like a huge career unless you're a star. This man does not need to have another job. He's the baddest man on the planet. If he wanted to, he don't need a job. He can go to a bank and say, hey, let me get some money. And they're like, why? I'll fucking kick your ass if you don't. Like, he's dope. Like, he's the best fighter in the world. And he's also a damn fireman. That's so cool. That is so cool. Yet, it's not on one fucking poster. It's not on one fucking commercial. Barely anybody knows that about him. It's barely in the damn UFC embedded YouTube episodes. You gotta have some fan come up to him and say, hey man, you're a firefighter. We're firefighters. We want to give you this t-shirt, bud. Fucking, the whole squad signed it. Fucking go kick his ass, man. Like, that's how people find out he's a firefighter. By some fan telling them in the background of a 5-minute YouTube episode. Why isn't it on every poster the UFC's ever made? We have a heavyweight champion who's also a firefighter. Maybe it's just I have a weird obsession with firefighters, but I think it's fucking cool to like fight fire. I think fighting's cool. Fighting humans is cool. This motherfucker fights fires. Like, we got Charizard in here. Like, you're gonna tell me Charizard ain't cool? Like, come on. Everybody, when they were kids, wanted Charizard. Goddamn UFC champion would beat Charizard's ass. He's a fire tamer. He would ride. Stipe Miocic can beat someone up in an octagon, get out of the octagon, ride Charizard into a burning building, save a bunch of kids and their kittens, and get out in time to go see his family, go see his wife for a nice little date because he is a fun, goofy little guy. He's an all-around American dude. Why is no one marketing him? Why does no one give a fuck but me? It's pissing me off. Now let's break down the fight. Stipe does everything well. And he's definitely... Let's just talk about what each of them do well. Stipe is a good wrestler. He's a college wrestler. He's a college athlete. His trainer says he could been in the NFL, and I don't doubt it. Just the way how big he is and how fast. He's Golden Gloves champion. In the middle of his MMA career, he stopped everything just to be a boxer for a year, and won some tournaments, won Golden Gloves. So he grew up a wrestler and was loving martial arts, and then became an MMA fighter, and then stopped, became just a boxer, then came back to MMA. So he's got a overall game that is highly specialized in boxing and wrestling. And I think if you were to beat Francis Ngannou, you wouldn't do it by fucking punching harder than him. You would do it by moving around and boxing, and then when he gets, you tangle him up because he's throwing wild punches and wild kicks, and you're moving around good, and maybe you just take him down. Now, I hear like on other people, like, oh, Stipe's just got to take him down. Yeah, no shit, fool. He doesn't want to get punched in the face by him, so what are you going to say? You just take him down? You can't just run across the rink against them, run across the octagon against somebody and just take him down. Francis Ngannou, although he's not like grown up wrestling, trust me, he's been wrestling. He's at the UFC training facility. They've been bringing wrestlers in there. They've been housing them and bringing them there just to wrestle him. Word on the street is a lot of Olympic wrestlers, heavyweight Olympic wrestlers, be going to the gym, the UFC gym, to wrestle with him, and they can't take him down. So to say that, like, Stipe just got to go there and take him down, that's a stupid fucking sentence. I don't want to hear it. He's definitely got to take him down, but it's how. He can't just shoot across the ring and expect to get a takedown, because he's going to just get caught up in that strongman clinch just like Overeem did, and he's going to get beat up. But unlike Overeem, I don't think Stipe is scared. I think Overeem was tripping. I think Overeem was weighing over his head. And got to those weigh-ins, he shook his hand and was like, oh shit, dude's hella strong. Fucking walked out that arena and got into that cage, that door locked behind him. And he was like, oh fuck. And he started tripping, and he didn't fight like himself at all, and he got beat up. Stipe is the champion for a reason. No, it's funny. You look at Ngannou, who he's knocked out with the past 3 knockouts, or people he's knocked down and whatnot. Stipe has knocked them out too. But one thing about Stipe that Ngannou doesn't have is that he's beat Fabricio Verdum. He's beat Mark Hunt. He's beat Junior Dos Santos. He's beaten a lot of more accomplished fighters in different ways than Ngannou has. Does that matter though? I'm not sure it does. It might if it can get into the later rounds. If Stipe can use that experience, if he can use that boxing, use that movement. That's how he's gonna have a chance. At the end of the day, Gano, one of the speed and strength wise, 10 out of 10. He's fast. He's fluent with it as well. He moves. He was also a boxer, specialized, came over from boxing. So it's not like he's just some dude that just throws bombs. Like, he's a boxer, a little bit more wild than Stipe. And he's just got pure great strength, and they're saying that Olympians have been coming to the gym and can't take him down. I really want Stipe to win because he's a damn firefighter, and he's also going for the record for the most heavyweight title defenses. That's how crazy this heavyweight division is, that no one, out of all the great fighters we've had in the sport, no one's defended the heavyweight belt more than twice. Stipe's going for that. He's a damn firefighter. I want to see him do it. And I think he can do it by moving around, making it an awkward fight for him. Like, run in, run out, like, fucking switch stances on him. Head movement. You gotta scramble with him, push him up against the fence, throw elbows. Like, you gotta be able to take some punishment. It's gotta be a dirty fight. You gotta do some dirty boxing in there. Punch to the body against the cage. It's gotta be some leg kicks. It's gotta be an overall mixed martial art fight. You can't sit there, plant your feet, and bang with him and be all tense and nervous like Overeem or Arlovsky was. You're going to get manhandled by this guy. At the end of the day, I think Stipe knows that. I think Stipe has the physical capability to do that. I think Stipe is faster than him. I think he's more athletic. He's more nimble. He's not bigger. He's not stronger. But he is more he's more nimble, and he's more light on his feet. He's got quicker hands. But at the end of the day, this might be a science thing. This might be like a fucking when a hand that's that damn big hits a head at that fast, it's lights out no matter what. I don't care how tough you are. It just might be that. Like Stipe might be the better boxer, better grappler, have more experience, better conditioned athlete, more gritty. He's fought physical fires before, so nothing fucking gets to him. But when Francis Ngannou throws a punch because it's so damn big and so damn fast and it hits the brain at that force, it might be a physics thing and the lights go out. So I wouldn't bet anything on this. If you're going to bet, I'm going to bet just for the fun of it. I'm going to bet on Stipe. He's an underdog. If you put some money on him, you get some money back. Is it a fucking sure bet? I don't know. Ultimately, I think DC is going to win. And I think Stipe is going to win. Fuck it. I mean, I don't think that. That's not even a true statement. I want Stipe to win so bad. I just want him to see it because it'd be cool as hell to happen. But I think Francis Ngannou has good enough boxing, and not like when I say good enough, like he's a very good boxer. It's just Stipe is an amazing boxer. And I think Francis Ngannou has good enough boxing to catch him in one of the first 2 rounds and put the lights out on him because I think that's physics, and I think Stipe goes down. And that sucks because I want to see Stipe be the man. So ultimately, you probably won't bet on it. I probably just sit back and just hope for the best. Hopefully Stipe wins. I hope it's a war. I hope Stipe wins like a 4th round stoppage, 5th round stoppage. Like this, they've been just going at it. Maybe the first round is very touchy-feely. Stipe might have won. Ngannou landed some big shots. It was a little scary. Stipe wobbled. Maybe the second round, Ngannou kind of fucked him up and people were worried. And then the third round, towards that third round, Stipe gets a takedown and kind of dominates. And then they get up for that 4th round, and all of a sudden, Ngannou's tired. Jacob Fortner, what's up, you fat ass? That's what you say. I'm running a podcast here. That's what's up. Save the comments for the end, dickweed. I'll get to you later. Fuck, I forgot where I was at. Fuck you, Jake. Fucking made me forget where I was going. At the end of the day, this is going to be one of the craziest fights of all time because you got to understand how small that ring is. Eventually, they're going to collide, and this is what my point is. Eventually, they're going to collide. Oh, I was breaking down how the fight's going to look. 4th round, after the 3rd round where Stipe maybe gets that takedown and lays on him a little bit. The 4th round, what if he gets up and Ngannou's tired? Then Stipe comes line. He starts boxing up, giving him the 1-2s, the peppering jabs, the pop, 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 pop. Not just throwing big old wild haymakers like Ngannou does. Peppers him up until finally that 5th round comes around and Ngannou's can't pick his big-ass hands up and he's tired. His arms locked up. And that's when Stipe takes it to the ground, finishes him off. It's got to be some type of floppy, sloppy fight like that. He's got to use all the skills. All the skills have to be involved because if you just sit there and I'm just scared that he knows this and it's going to try and go for that. But if they're going to stand there in that 1st round, it's got to stand on the feet. And they're going to go in there, going to box. And this fool Ngannou is good enough and slick enough and quick enough. And he connects with Stipe. And I think physics say that when you hit somebody that hard, you go out. But let's see it. Let's see this. Let's see the Stipe with the overall mixed martial arts win. So overall, folks, all in all, Bellator 192, it's going to be lit. Look for Douglas Lima to make the upset. Rampage Jackson and beat up Chael Sonnen because Chael Sonnen's always been a fraud and never been that good. DC to beat Volkan. And let's look for the Captain of America, goddamn firefighter Stipe Miocic, to put out the hot flames of Francis Ngannou. That's it for Run That episode 8 UFC 220 Bellator breakdown. Let me scroll through these, see if we have any actual questions instead of people trying to just distract me. What's up, you fat ass, dumbass? You're hot. You're so freaking hot. I like your teeth. Thanks, Jake. I'll call you in a sec. Terry Arana, my cousin, who's going to win the Amazing Race? I don't watch crap on TV, so I don't know who's going to win the Amazing Race. But I'll go with the couple with the least domestic problems. the couple who doesn't scream at each other, the couple who doesn't have kids. If there's a couple who doesn't have kids, we'll go with them. They're playing for something. They're playing for a goddamn vacation. Those other people, they're worried about their kids. They're not going to win. What about the Super Bowl? Who's going? Obviously the Vikings are going to beat the Eagles next on Sunday or Saturday, whatever the fuck that is. It's upset city, baby. Let's go Jags. Jags Vikings Super Bowl. What do you think? What do you think about the polar ice caps melting? Shouldn't that water just go to Africa? I mean, if that's politically, that's what I would do, but I'm not sure that's the times we're living in, Jake. If the polar ice caps melt, I don't think anybody's going to care about it, and I think they won't send it to Africa like they should. I think if the polar ice caps melt, it's probably going to get jumped on by a capitalist, by venture capitalist. Maybe I'm starting to think of an idea right now. Maybe I'll become a venture capitalist myself and jump on this idea. Polar ice cap water, bottled up, sport top. It's got a little sport top you can squeeze into your mouth. You got anything? You got a rebuttal to that, Jake? Are we going to keep talking about polar ice caps, or do you have a sports question? Because if not, I'm about to end this podcast. It's done. The podcast is done. UFC 220 this Saturday. Check it out. Bellator 192 this Saturday. Check it out. Run That Podcast is out. I'm fucking out.
Run that podcast. Get your ass up. Run that podcast. Get your ass up. Run that podcast. Get your ass up. Run that podcast.
Run that shit, bitch. Get naked.